know about that Curtis Mayfield, huh? Bet y'all don't know nothing about that. What's up, internet? It's Brianna back again for another episode. How you doing? Oh no, I don't like when women's like that. Let me not do that. This week I'm back again doing things that are our favorites that we're missing right now during quarantine that we don't have as much access to. Today I'm going to do Texas Roadhouse Rolls with that good old, what's it called? Cinnamon butter. Chow. That cinnamon butter gets me every time. So that's what I'm gonna do today. I don't have too much of an intro. Let's just go ahead and get into it, you know. First thing I'm gonna do is take 1 cup of milk and heat it up to 180 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's just take the temperature of this really quick. So the recipe says to heat it to 180 and let it cool to 120. I don't understand why, but it's at about 120 right now, so I'm just gonna leave it right there. I'm gonna put in 2 tablespoons of butter. So I'll just set that over here and let it melt. Then you wanna take a teaspoon of sugar, 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast, and let that dissolve into a cup of warm water. Now you let that sit for 5 minutes and get all fuzzy and frothy. So put that over here as well. Now I'm gonna take 3 1/2 cups of flour and put it into a bigger bowl so that I can mix. 1/4 cup of sugar and a teaspoon of salt. And I'll give that a quick whisk together. Now I'll create a well. I'm going to add in my milk and melted butter. Woo! As my yeast and sugar and water mixture. I forgot what's in there. It's water. Ooh, fudge, I did that wrong. I was supposed to do 1 cup of flour. Ooh. Too late now. It's gonna be what it's gonna be at this point. Let's hope for the best. I'm gonna take my hand mixer and start mixing it together until it starts to get kind of tacky and stick onto the beaters, and then I'm gonna take those off and start mixing it with my hands. Okay? And see, this is the point where I'm gonna take it off. I'm also gonna take this opportunity to start adding in the egg. So that's 1 egg. And we're hand mixing. We're mixing with our hands. The recipe says 3 1/2 cups of flour. By the way, I use bread flour, but it says to have an extra cup kind of on deck in case you need it, and I am clearly gonna need it. So this is my extra cup of flour that I have here, and I'm gonna shimmy in about a 1/2 cup. So now I'm gonna add in maybe another 1/3 cup. At this point you want to add smaller amounts of flour. There's a certain point you need to be at, and if you add too much you'll go right over that point, and you'll know immediately because the dough will be very tough. It'll make very ugly Texas Roadhouse Rolls. Cool. Now I'm gonna take another bowl, lightly grease it with my cooking spray, right on in there. Yay. The bread flour will give them all the gluten that they need to rise up and be delicious as ever. I'm gonna let this rise for an hour. I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna put it in my oven with my light on, and it's gonna rise and be double the size. Ooh, that rhymed. It's gonna rise and be double the size. There's gotta be a song lyric or a t-shirt somewhere in there. I like it. Okay. Now the dough has risen a lot. It's like, honestly, more than doubled in size. It's probably tripled in size. Punch it down. Ooh, look at that fall. Wow. Take my dough, plop it out. I'm going to try to roll this out into the shape of a rectangle till it's about a 1/2 inch thick. So now it's a 1/2 inch thick. I'm gonna go ahead and take it, fold it over. I'm gonna roll it a little bit more again to get it back into as rectangular of a shape as I possibly can. I'm gonna get a pizza cutter and I'm gonna roll it and cut this dough into about, I don't know, 24 pieces. That was definitely not the same size. I'm gonna re-roll it. Let's try this again. Let me make a little indents. There we go, that's better. Now this should be 24. I'm gonna start putting them close together, like touching. So now that all the rolls are lined up on the baking sheet, I'm gonna take this and let them rise for another 15 to 20 minutes, and then we'll bake. While those are rising, I'm gonna start making my cinnamon butter. So I have 2 tablespoons of powdered sugar in this bowl. I'm gonna add a teaspoon of cinnamon, a tablespoon of honey, and then of course, 1/2 cup of softened butter. And whip it together with a hand mixer. Doesn't that look heavenly? But I'm gonna take the cinnamon butter and put it into a little container that I know will be fine in the fridge because I'm not gonna eat all of these rolls in one day, clearly. Okay, so I made the mistake of putting the rolls on the top shelf of the oven just to give them a little bit more color, and they got a little bit more darker than I anticipated and tried to do, but that's okay. Adds character. This is about a tablespoon of melted butter. I'm just gonna brush it over the tops of the rolls. Okay, these just came out, so they're gonna be super hot, and I'm afraid I'm gonna burn my fingers on them, but we're gonna try it anyway. One from the middle area. Okay, these are pretty. The bottom isn't very dark. I like my bottom's a little bit darker, but the texture looks good. It's super hot. And wow, okay. So it is pretty light and fluffy on the inside. That's great. Not as light as Texas Roadhouse's because again, I know that I didn't let these rise long enough, but it still looks like good texture. Get a little bit of the cinnamon butter. Oh, wow. It's good. Honestly, you put cinnamon butter on anything, it'll taste good. You could put cinnamon butter on a piece of cardboard and you bite that thing like, you know what, this isn't half bad. They would have been lighter and fluffier had I let them rise the full time. But you know what, I'm not complaining. Well, I guess that's it. Thank you so much for watching another episode. Like, comment, subscribe, share, put it on your story, whatever else the heck you want to do. And I will see you next week. Bye.